Listen, we live in a world where people love to talk. They love to announce their plans, their dreams, their ambitions. But the truth is, talking doesn't move the needle. Action does. Results do. Success isn't about telling the world what you're going to do. It's about putting your head down, doing the work, and letting your results speak for themselves. Decide right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Decide that you are done settling. Success doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. It happens the moment you refuse to be average, the moment you refuse to let life just happen to you. Most people wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for someone to come and save them. But winners, they don't wait. They take control. They decide that enough is enough. Because here's the truth. Your life is the sum of your choices. Every decision you make is shaping your future. And if you don't take control of your decisions, life will make them for you. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they never commit. They tiptoe around their goals, afraid to go all in, afraid to burn the boats, afraid to cut off all other options. But listen to me. If you want success, if you want greatness, you must decide that there is no plan B. Listen, you must decide that mediocrity is no longer an option. It's easy to stay comfortable. It's easy to do what's familiar, but comfort is the enemy of growth. And if you stay in your comfort zone, you will never tap into the full power of who you are. You have to make the decision that you are going to be relentless, that you are going to be disciplined, that you are going to do what it takes, no matter how hard, no matter how long, no matter how many times you fall, because the difference between those who win and those who don't isn't luck. It's not talent. It's the decision to keep going when everyone else quits, the decision to show up when no one is watching, the decision to push forward when doubt creeps in. Your future is not determined by your past. It's determined by what you decide to do right now. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep making excuses? Are you going to keep letting distractions steal your focus? Or are you going to take control? Because the second you decide, truly decide, everything changes. Your mindset changes, your actions change, your results change. And the people who doubted you, the ones who said you couldn't do it, they'll watch in shock as you rise. They'll wonder how you did it. And you'll know the answer. You decided. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they lack resources. They fail because they seek validation too soon. They need someone to approve of their dream before they even start. They need someone to tell them they're on the right path before they've taken a single step. And that's the problem. Because when you wait for permission, you give away your power. When you look for approval, you hand control of your future to someone else. And the truth is, most people won't see your vision. Not because it's impossible, not because you can't do it, but because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. You can't expect others to believe in something they can't see. You can't expect applause for a masterpiece that hasn't been finished. That's why you must stop chasing validation, because every moment you spend looking for approval is a moment you could have spent building, working, creating, getting better. Validation won't pay your bills. It won't make you stronger. It won't turn your dreams into reality. Results will, because when you produce results, the need for validation disappears. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to beg for recognition. Your work will speak for itself. The ones who doubted you, they'll see it. The ones who ignored you, they'll notice. The ones who laughed at you, they'll be silent, but none of that matters, because by then you won't care about their approval. You'll be too busy winning, too focused on the next goal, too locked in on the next level. So stop asking for permission, stop waiting for applause, put your head down, do the work, focus on results, and when the time comes, let your success do the talking. Success is not built under bright lights, it's not created in front of cheering crowds, it's not made in moments of recognition. Success is built in the dark, it's built when no one is watching. When there's no applause, no validation, no one telling you to keep going. It's built in the early mornings when the world is still asleep, in the late nights when your body is exhausted, but you push through anyway, in the moments when doubt creeps in and you choose to keep moving forward. That's where champions are made. That's where greatness is forged, because the real work happens long before the world ever sees the results, long before anyone acknowledges your effort, long before success even seems possible. Most people don't make it because they can't handle the silence. They can't handle the loneliness. They want the rewards without the grind. They want the victory without the battle. They want the recognition before they've earned it. But that's not how success works. The ones who make it, the ones who rise, they embrace the dark. They understand that the grind is not glamorous, that the process is not exciting, that no one will celebrate their sacrifices. And they don't need them to, because they know that every rep, every late night, every early morning, every ounce of effort, it's all adding up, stacking, building, compounding, until one day the world finally sees what was happening all along. And when they ask how it happened, when they ask where it all came from, you'll know the answer. It was built in the dark. Silence is power. Silence is focus. Silence eliminates distractions. The less you talk, the more you can execute. The more you execute, the closer you get to your goals. But most people don't understand this. They spend their energy explaining instead of doing. They announce their plans before they've taken action. They seek approval before they've earned results. And in the process, they lose momentum. They get caught up in opinions. They get distracted by doubt. They start to second guess themselves, because every time you talk about what you're going to do, you invite voices into your mind, voices that question, voices that criticize, voices that plant seeds of hesitation. And hesitation kills progress. You don't need to tell the world what you're doing. You just need to do it. You don't need validation. You need discipline. You don't need opinions. You need execution. Every moment you spend talking is a moment you could have spent building. Every conversation about your goals is energy that could have been poured into making them real. The most successful people in the world don't waste time explaining. They don't spend their days trying to convince others. They lock in. They commit. They execute in silence. And when the results come, they speak louder than words ever could. So close the door, shut out the noise, put your head down and work. Let your success be the only thing that needs to be said. Stop trying to impress people. Stop chasing clout. Stop looking for approval before you've even done the work. Because success doesn't come from attention, it comes from consistency. It comes from showing up every single day, whether anyone notices or not. It comes from doing the work when no one is watching. Most people fail because they're too focused on being seen instead of being great. They want the rewards before they've earned them. They want recognition before they've put in the time. But success doesn't work that way. It doesn't care about how many people are watching. It doesn't care about likes, followers, or applause. It only cares about results. And results don't come from occasional effort. They come from relentless consistency, from the daily grind, from the boring, unglamorous, repetitive work that most people aren't willing to do, because consistency is what separates the ones who win from the ones who quit. It's easy to start. It's easy to feel motivated for a day, a week, even a month. But what happens when the excitement wears off? What happens when no one is clapping for you? What happens when it feels like nothing is working? That's where most people stop. That's where they start looking for shortcuts. That's where they chase clout instead of mastering their craft. But the ones who stay consistent, the ones who put in the work day after day, no matter what, they are the ones who win. Because when you focus on consistency, the results will come. Not instantly, not overnight, but they will come, and when they do, they will be undeniable. So forget the applause, forget the validation, forget the hype, stay consistent, and let your results make all the noise. No one needs to understand your vision, no one needs to believe in it, no one needs to see what you see, because it's your dream, not theirs. It wasn't given to them, it wasn't planted in their heart, it wasn't meant for them to understand. And that's why you can't expect their approval. You can't expect them to support something they don't see. You can't expect them to validate something they don't feel. Most people live inside their own limitations. They project their fears onto you. They tell you what's realistic. They tell you to be practical, not because they want to hold you back, but because they never believed it was possible for themselves. And if they don't believe it for them, how could they ever believe it for you? But their doubt is not your problem. Their small mindset is not your burden. Your vision is yours for a reason. It doesn't need to be explained. It doesn't need to be justified. It doesn't need to be understood by anyone but you, because in the end, the only explanation that matters is results. When they see you rise, when they see what you've built, when they see the life you've created, that's when they'll understand. That's when they'll ask how you did it. That's when they'll want to know the secret. And by then, you won't need to say a word, because your success will speak for itself. So stop looking for approval. Stop waiting for permission. Stop trying to make them understand. Keep building, keep grinding, keep going. And when the time comes, let your results be the only explanation they need. The grind is lonely. It's supposed to be, because greatness is not built in crowds. It's built in silence. It's built in the hours when no one is clapping for you, when no one is checking in, when no one is giving you credit. Most people can't handle that. They need recognition to keep going. They need someone to tell them they're on the right path. And when they don't get it, they stop. They question themselves. They wonder if it's worth it. They give up before they ever see the results. But that's why the grind is necessary. It separates those who are serious from those who just like the idea of success. It forces you to rely on something deeper than validation. It forces you to show up when no one is watching, to push forward when no one is cheering, to put in the work when no one cares. Because if you need recognition to keep going, you'll never make it. If you need someone to tell you you're doing a good job, you'll always be controlled by opinions. But if you can work in silence, if you can grind without the need for applause, if you can stay disciplined when no one is watching, then nothing can stop you, because results don't come from recognition. They come from repetition, from doing the work over and over, long before anyone notices, long before anyone believes, long before anyone understands. So embrace the silence, embrace the loneliness, be comfortable working without recognition, because when the results finally come, they will be undeniable. And by then, you won't need their approval. You'll already know you were right. Let your success be undeniable. Let your results speak so loudly that no one can ignore them. Because when you finally win, the world will take notice. They may doubt you now. They may overlook you. They may dismiss your potential, but none of that matters. Because right now you're building. Right now you're working in silence. Right now you're putting in the hours, the effort, the sweat, and the sacrifice. And while they talk, while they judge, while they wait to see if you'll quit, you keep going, you keep pushing, you keep proving to yourself that you were built for more. Most people chase attention. They want to be seen before they've done anything worth noticing. They want the spotlight without the struggle. But real success doesn't work like that. Real success doesn't come from being loud. It comes from being relentless. It comes from discipline. It comes from doing what others aren't willing to do. And when the work is done, when you've stayed the course, when you've outlasted every obstacle, they will have no choice but to see you, no choice but to respect you, no choice but to acknowledge what you've built, because success, real success, is undeniable. It doesn't need an introduction. It doesn't need an explanation. It doesn't need approval. It just is. So keep going, keep building, keep stacking results until your success is so massive, so unshakable, so undeniable that the world has no choice but to watch. Never waste energy proving yourself to doubters. Never waste time explaining your vision to people who were never meant to see it, because while you're talking, while you're defending, while you're trying to make them understand, you're losing momentum, you're losing focus, you're wasting the energy that should be going into building. Most people will doubt you. They'll question your path. They'll tell you it won't work, that it's impossible, that you should be more realistic, not because they know what's best for you, but because they don't believe it's possible for themselves. And if they don't believe it for them, how could they ever believe it for you? That's why you don't argue, you don't explain, you don't waste your breath trying to convince them, because success is not about talking, it's about doing. It's about showing up every single day, no matter who believes in you. It's about staying locked in when no one understands. It's about building something so undeniable that no explanation is ever needed. The greatest revenge is not proving them wrong with words. It's proving them wrong with results, with discipline, with consistency, with an unshakable commitment to your goals. Because when you win, when you rise, when you achieve everything they said was impossible, they'll see, they'll understand it. And by then, you won't need their approval. You won't care what they think, because you'll be too busy winning. So let them doubt, let them talk, let them misunderstand you. You don't need to explain, you just need to execute. Shock them with results, not words. Let your actions do the talking. Let your success be the loudest response. Because the best revenge is not arguing. It's not proving yourself with explanations. It's not begging for approval. The best revenge is massive success. Most people waste their energy trying to convince others. They argue with doubters. They try to explain their vision. They get caught up in proving their worth to people who were never meant to see it. And in the process, they lose sight of what really matters: the work, the grind, the execution. Every second spent explaining is a second stolen from your progress. Every moment spent defending yourself is a moment you could have spent building. So stop talking. Stop announcing your moves. Stop looking for validation. Just work. Just grind. Just put in the effort every single day until there is no doubt left. Because when the results come, no one will question you. When the results come, No one will ignore. When the results come, the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to respect you. They'll wonder how you did it. They'll wonder when it all happened. They'll realize they were too busy doubting while you were too busy winning. And by then, their opinions won't matter because you'll have already proven everything through results. Not words, not arguments, not explanations. So keep quiet. Keep grinding, keep building, and when the time comes, shock them with success so undeniable that they'll have nothing left to say. And when that moment comes, when they finally see what you've built, when they finally understand what you were working for all along, you won't need to say, I told you so. You won't need their approval. You won't need their validation because your results will speak for themselves. Because success is the only proof you'll ever need. So stay focused, stay relentless, stay unstoppable. Let them doubt, let them talk, let them misunderstand you, and then let your success say everything they never believed was possible.